Welcome to another Indie Dev Showcase, highlighting the many indie games we play here on the channel. If you'd like to submit a game for a future video, please reach out. But otherwise, let's begin. We are starting things off with the Electrifying Incident. This is a kind of sequel slash spin-off of a Monsters Expedition. We are working in a power facility when something has gone wrong and the place is going haywire, and it's up to us to push, pull, and manipulate all kinds of objects in order to fix reactors, save the plant, and not get shocked a few times along the way. This is very much in the similar style of a Sokoban, but with the greater kind of like world or open-ended nature that we kind of saw in a Monsters Expedition. So in this one, you'll be going from room to room, moving objects that you can use to power or depower various doors, switches, and electrifying panels. Your job is to move your way through the facility to activate the kind of different reactors. So the game does that thing where the objects that you'll use in one room and for one puzzle will be used in another room, and you'll need to figure out how to manipulate and move them around in order to do so. Your grapple arm can extend to a certain degree, and if you go at a 90-degree angle near like a wall or a corner, it will bend and contort. This will allow you to kind of move it around corners or push it over gaps and spaces. So the puzzle logic here I would say is a little bit more on the challenging side, as you need to think about each room and by extension each object and puzzle as part of the individual act and as kind of the greater world itself. The game is meant to be on the shore side if you know what you're doing, and if you were a fan of a Monsters Expedition and just looking for a very light-hearted but still challenging puzzle game, I would give this one a play. We have another challenging game up next with Seafrog. This is an action hoverboarding adventure. You play a frog who unfortunately can't swim, but they know how to, well, ride a hoverboard pretty well. And in order to get out of kind of a sea trap, they're going to explore various wrecks, collect resources, and perform as many tricks as possible along the way. So this is essentially like a collectathon platformer, but with a focus on your hoverboard. As you perform tricks, this will build up your boost meter, allowing you to kind of run or hover around walls and ceilings, hit enemies for damage, and just look really cool while doing everything else. Each wreck is its own personal little platforming world, with different challenges and MacGuffins for you to collect. And your overall mission is to collect enough resources in order to power up your main ship in order to blast yourself to freedom. Now, the game starts out fairly simple, but there is a lot more going on here. You'll find you'll need to collect different resources and items that will then unlock things in either other parts of the same wreck or to return to previous wrecks, letting you do more and explore more. I think the game could have done a better job of providing some form of onboarding or guidance as to where you should be going, as it's very easy to lose an item or forget where you need to go next with a specific piece. The trick system starts out simple, but as the game goes on it becomes more and more advanced, as you'll need to integrate doing combat with your tricks in order to get around different enemies. And it can be very hard sometimes to keep yourself kind of going, and you'll also have to deal with enemies who are invulnerable and will chase you from room to room in a few sections. And ultimately, what kind of like kept me from really going all the way through into this was that it started to get a little bit annoying in terms of how you get around. Since you're always on the hoverboard, it means that you don't really have kind of fine control over your character. So if you're trying to hit a specific thing or get to a specific part, it's very easy to miscalculate, or your characters like automatically dash or gain speed, and you'll launch yourself completely away, and then you'll need to regain all your momentum again to try and get back to where you were. But if you mess that up, then you're repeating it over and over again. Now, one important thing, The footage that is being shown here is from the 1.0 version. Following the game's release, the developers have released a massive bouncing and redesign patch intended on making it a 2.0. This includes adjusting how checkpointing works, how the various upgrades are applied, and more, which I did not get a chance to play to see how things have improved or changed from this version. And with that, Seafrog is definitely an interesting game. If anything that I said sounds interesting to you and you're looking to do some hover side-scrolling action, I would definitely give this one a try, especially now there's been a lot more work done with the Rebalancing 2.0 patch. And now we go to Hynpytol. This is a non-retro puzzle game where you play a white blood cell in a human body. When viruses have invaded and things are going wrong, you must use the power of high-fiving to get around and save the day. So this is a kind of push and pull take on puzzle design. When you grab an object using your high five, you can either push it away or pull it towards you. If there's an object behind you and you push, you can kind of like push the other object as well. And a lot of this challenge is going to be about manipulating yourself and the objects on screen in order to get from point A to point B. With the demo, we didn't get to see too much in terms of advanced puzzle logic and elements to it, but the store page does boast there will be kind of bonuses and Easter eggs to uncover. I really like the look of this one. It is very charming to play, and it looks like there's enough challenge to it as well if you're looking for that. So if you're in a mod retro mood to do some high-fiving all over the place, I would give this one a try. And now we go to some more modern retro goodness with Kemono Heroes. This is some good old-fashioned 2D action side-scrolling. You play a group of heroes who, when an evil demon threatens the world, we are going to have to run to the left, run to the right, and of course up and down, slashing at anything that gets in our way. So this is some, again, good old-fashioned side-scrolling. You'll deal with enemies spawning from quite literally every angle as you attempt to move your way through these levels. The footage you're seeing is being played on the, I believe, the highest difficulty, so that does add a little bit more masochism to the proceedings. Each character has different attacks, as well as different stats, and I believe you can play this 2-player co-op. I don't know if you can go more than that. I really like the pixel art in this one, and it is a very suitably challenging game. What they do is that as you beat up enemies and collect all the lovely money all over the place, you'll be able to spend that at end of level shops in order to permanently upgrade your stats, giving yourself more damage, more health, and so on and so forth. And it really does matter. Being able to kill some of these enemies in 1 or 2 less shots will make your life massively easier in this one. Now, with the fact that most of these enemies are spawning infinitely, it does make things a bit challenging. There are a variety of bosses, and this one again is not going to win you over if you're not an old school fan, but if you and a buddy are looking to save the world through side-scrolling, then this is a very easy recommendation, and certainly a game worth playing. And now we go to Stario Haven Tower. Now, the footage you're seeing is being taken from the demo. The game was released into early access in late 2025, and what you see may not represent the current version. This is a vertical tower/city builder, where you are trying to construct a tower to keep the remaining humans alive in a world that is being kind of engulfed by sand and other mysterious things. Our gameplay here is that each kind of section of the tower itself kind of is occupied by specific classes. So this will affect what resources they can produce and what they need. As you climb up the tower, of course demands will get higher, and you'll need to transport resources back and forth between the lower and higher floors in order to sustain everyone. I like the look of this one, but it's hard to tell, at least from the demo that we played, where the gameplay is going to go. Is this going to be like a campaign structure, free play, go until you can't go anymore? And it can be a little bit tricky in terms of setting up the logistics of moving things up and down. Even with that said, there is definitely a lot of potential here. We've been seeing a lot more of these kinds of like vertical builders in the recent years. So if you're in the mood to build up instead of out, I would at least give the demo a try, or keep an eye out for when the game is released out of early access. And for the last game of this week's showcase, it is World of Goo 2, the ooey gooey physics puzzle game. The sequel was released in 2025, and our story is that the goo balls are back, and it's up to us to once again guide them to various pipes, avoid a lot of objects, and see what other strange things are going on in this world. If you didn't play the first one, this again is a kind of physics-style puzzle game, where your job is to connect the various goo balls in order to form bridges, structures, and other things to move them around and take them to where they need to go. All the while trying to deal with a variety of objects and of course the physics that can easily mess with you. The sequel does add in some new elements. There's some new goo ball types, as well as kind of like interactable objects that can launch your goo, do other things, and you're going to have to figure out how to make use of all of them. The puzzle complexity in this one is a little bit more challenging compared to the first one. I noticed that they do introduce a lot more kind of larger levels in this one far earlier compared to the first game. There are, once again, like those kinds of quote-unquote boss stages you'll have to deal with. The pros and the cons of the first game make their return. You still have to sometimes move very quickly in terms of setting up where you want your balls to kind of line up in order to connect them, and the physics can still be a little bit funky in places. I had a lot of trouble with kind of the World 1 final stage because of that. And if you didn't enjoy the first one, I don't think there's anything here that's going to change your mind, but if you did love connecting all that goo together in the first game, then you definitely want to give this one a play. And with that, another showcase comes to an end. You'll find links to all the games down below. What did you think of them if you did have a chance to play them? And if you're letting me take a look at your game for a future stream and showcase, be sure to get in touch. With that, have a great night, have a great holiday, and see everyone for some more game talks coming real soon. Thanks for watching, and a special thank you to our Patreon supporters. If you enjoyed the video, do the YouTubing stuff, be sure to visit our Discord and Patreon, and if you're interested in more of my thoughts on design, check out my game design books.